Welcome. Welcome to our lake house. Turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone. I'm on Starlink, so it's still pretty good internet, but definitely don't want to use it all on my phone. So yeah, welcome to the chat today. We're going to be going live, having a Q&A session. I want to talk about different creative financing aspects, also agreement for sale. So let me know if you guys can hear and see me in the chat, please. There you go. So yeah, I'm live on a lot of different platforms right now. So we are actually at our lake house here in North Bay. There we go. In North Bay, Ontario, Canada. That's where Mel and I live. So this lake house is like 15 minutes away from our actual house. Trout Lake, if you're looking it up on a map. So it's pretty cool. And we were actually able to purchase this with none of our own money. Okay, that was an amazing deal. We literally, so to break down this deal, we literally purchased it with a private mortgage in first place. Okay, so the mortgage broker got us a private lender in first place. I think the guy was a developer. Was he a developer? Or might have been a dentist. I forget, something like that, or maybe an eye surgeon. Anyway, doesn't matter. So the mortgage broker got us a first mortgage, which was roughly 80% loan to value of the purchase price back then. And we utilized someone's RRSPs. So in Canada, right, RRSPs, in the US, 401k, same difference, same concept. That ended up being our down payment. And back then they could allow up to the 100% financing on that. Now they've tweaked it a bit. 90% is typically the max. Millie? Yeah, making sure the dog's all good. She loves it out here. She just chills. Yeah, so this cottage was, or lake house cottage, whatever you want to call it, was purchased with 100% other people's money. After that, well, actually, let me backtrack, because Mel and I always like to talk about this. When we purchased this asset, it was literally like pink carpets, right? Pink carpets. It was like, how do I even explain it? It was so chopped up. Like the living room that is in front of me right now was pink carpets, wood paneling. Millie? Okay, she's still there. I thought Millie was on the loose, checking out the lake. No, she's still behind me. But yeah, it was like pink carpets, wood paneling. The kitchen had like drop ceiling. Like it was actually like the like, in a commercial unit, they have the drop ceiling with like the neon fluorescent lights. That was the kitchen. Like there was like 5 different floorings, different colors, and like a 20 by 20 section. It was just a mess. But anyway, so Mel and I, porch remote. So Mel and I came in. We did like we always do. We purchased it with other people's money, and then we also did the renovations, right? So it was a burr. Oh, you can see Millie in the background there. There's Millie. Hey, Millie. Pretty girl. She loves it out there. Her and I are going to go on the lake later in Colton. Yeah, we came in, did some renovations. So we, open the place up. So open the place up, open concept. I can show you guys after if you want to. Open concept now. So because we bought this for the view of the lake, right? Like who doesn't want a view of a beautiful lake like I've got behind me? So yeah, we did the renovations, opened it up, new flooring, new kitchen. We made sure to really have the, vaulted or cathedral ceilings, made it super modern, and now it's a beautiful spot. Refinanced it, right? And now we've got a property, a 7-figure property on the lake, purchased with creative financing and other people's money. So a little different than an income property, right? Because now we're the, you can still see Millie. Anyway, she's chilling. But so pretty cool. You can do this with any different type of asset that you want. Again, the most important thing, the most important thing, we have since then refinanced. We've paid out the private first mortgage, right? The eye surgeon or whatever the person did to the mortgage broker, paid them out completely. Paid out the second mortgage completely, right? The lady that had our RSPs. And now we've got it at a financial institution. We've got it at an A lender, an A bank. And yeah, Mel and I come and check it out, right? In the summertime. I don't know if you can see the Sea-Doos right there. The Sea-Doos are right there, and the pontoon boat's right there. So the pontoon boat is literally going to be my office this afternoon. Going to go chill. I got to make a couple phone calls, and I might as well, go on the lake while I'm doing it. Mel and Colton will join as well, obviously. But yeah, today's going to be all about creative financing. And we're going to be discussing, actually, you know what? If you're interested and you want to actually, because this, like I said, is in North Bay, Ontario, right? Where I live, Canada. If you want to be introduced to the same real estate agents that helped me with this, put it in the chat. DM me, put, what word do I want to put? Agent, A-G-E-N-T. A-G-E-N-T, and I'll introduce you to the same real estate agent that helped me negotiate this, okay? If you're looking for deals in North Bay and Sudbury. So yeah, DM me the word agent, and we will definitely introduce you. Okay, so today we're going to talk about agreement for sale, right? AFS. Has anyone done an AFS deal, an agreement for sale deal? Let me know in the chat if you've done one, or if you heard of it, or are you like, hey, have you done one? Is it new to you, or you're like, I've never even heard of these words, AFS, agreement for sale. Let me know in the chat where you're at that. Okay, so agreement for sale, as people are putting it in, agreement for sale is literally, it is a form of seller financing, okay, without ownership in the beginning. And hear me out. Ownership in the beginning is not necessary for an agreement for sale. So that is the whole point of this. And a lot of people like this. Totally new, Dave. Okay, thanks, Waleed. Yeah, so agreement for sale is a way of controlling real estate without necessarily having to own it in the beginning, like I mentioned. So why do people like this? The pros and cons. And maybe I should explain a little bit more before I get into the pros and cons. Yeah, let me explain it, and then we'll talk about why some people prefer this over a vendor take back like Mel and I do a lot of, okay? And we literally just got back yesterday from Edmonton and Calgary, right, Alberta. So Edmonton, we actually have a deal that we just did for an agreement for sale. We only had to put like $23,000 or $22,000 down. I hear a boat. There you go. Someone's already boating. Someone beat me to it. I'll be out there soon. But agreement for sale is basically, like, has anyone here ever heard of Airbnb arbitrage, right? Where you don't own the unit, you basically rent it from someone and then rent it out higher, right? You guarantee them a 2-year lease on a place, and then you basically turn around and rent it out higher, short-term rental. So it's kind of the same concept. However, you basically have a contract on the entire asset. So the agreement for sale is you have a contract. So let's just make it up. Let's say you're buying 123 Main Street, okay? And 123 Main Street, the seller, for whatever reason, wants to no longer take care of it, wants to sell it to you, but then doesn't want to break their mortgage and still wants to have, ownership of it for now until the end of their term or whatever they've got going on. So you're able to take control of the asset, right? Because you'll have a POA, right? I don't want you to learn things today. So you'll have a POA, power of attorney. Now, as soon as I say attorney, I am not a lawyer. I am not an attorney. I am not an accountant. I am not a CPA. So do not take this as legal advice and do not take this as accounting advice. I'm just talking about my own experience as a real estate investor, okay? So the agreement for sale is you get a POA on the property, meaning seller over here and buyer over here. So the POA ensures that the seller, right, has assigned their rights over to the property to the actual buyer or the person that is controlling the contract. Okay, so in this example, that seller now, that person that still is on title and still has the mortgage, they cannot do anything with that property unless the actual person that owns the contract decides, right? Because they have the power of attorney. So let's say, for example, they try and go to the bank to refinance it, or they try and go sell it, right? The POA would be made aware of it because they're the ones actually controlling the assets. So let's use the example, they try and sell it. They might be able to put under contract and all that, but once it gets to the lawyers and once it gets to the attorneys or title, they'll be able to see that, hey, no, you can't sell it because you're the power of attorney, right? The rights to the property have been assigned to someone else. So that's what ends up. Oh, someone said nice background. Appreciate it. I love this place. Even in the winter, we snowmobile, we rip around here in the winter. It's awesome. The kids slide down a little hill we have here. So yeah, appreciate that, Laney. So the cool thing is you can get into the deal without having to qualify for a mortgage, qualify for financing. There's none of that. And you get to control the asset. So for example, the deal that I just bought, it's a 21-month term. So I have 21 months I closed the deal in a week. Right after I did my due diligence, I put in my cash flow analysis matrix, which I always do. And if you're thinking, hey, Dave, I wish I had a tool like that, DM us the word accelerator, okay? Or just write OPM, other people's money. DM us the word OPM, and the team will send you how you can get the cash flow analysis matrix, okay? So literally put the deal in the cash flow analysis matrix. It made sense. I had an exit strategy, right? Because I'm using other people's money. I have to make sure that I'm exiting the deal before I do any deal. That's a huge must, non-negotiable for us. Then we basically closed the deal. We closed it on July 1st, right? I was inquiring about it on like June 26th or 24th or whatever the date was. And yeah, Monday the 24th, I think. And then I closed it the July 1st. So that's the how quickly things can happen. So I did not qualify for the debt, meaning I didn't have to go to a bank. I didn't have to apply. I didn't have to show my personal net worth, show my T4 if I'm in Canada, my W2 if I'm in the US, show them my 2 years of NOA, notice of assessment. It was just, the deal is the deal. If you buy the contract on it, you now control it. So my whole goal of this is it's already listed for rent. Mel and I walked through. We're actually going to do a YouTube video on it. When we were in Edmonton, Mel and I shot 3 YouTube videos. We shot a video of our trip. We shot a video of the deal that I'm talking about right now. And we also shot a video about a one-on-one client of ours, Anita. She also bought a property there. It's a $510,000 that the property sold for, right, for agreement for sale. And I think she had to pay just under $30,000 to get into this deal. Okay. And if you're thinking, I want access to these types of deals, DM us the word list and we'll send you the list of agreement for sale deals in Canada. Or if you want Mexico, we also have agreement for sale deals in Mexico. DM us the word Mexico and the team will send it to you. Okay. So what Mel and I are going to do, we're renting it. It's listed, right? We walked through, we liked it. It's such a cool spot. Well, we were actually talking outside to one of the neighbors and they were saying that like, hey, one of the like big party streets in Edmonton is just there. It's well known. If you're from Edmonton, it's just off of White. They call it WHYTE. Oh, I forgot but that's like the name of it, and that there's a number, but I forget. But it's WHY. So if you're in Edmonton, you're like, oh yeah, that's a popular area. We're literally right off there. We're close to the University of Alberta. So again, doesn't matter because every market is different. But what I'm telling you is we bought this deal very quickly, very easily with the agreement for sale, right? And we can show people how to do this just like we do it. So yeah, got into it. Now we're going to rent it out for, I think it's listed for like $2,650 or $2,675. Yeah, just shy of $2,700. We'll put probably a couple of students in there. And then when they leave in 8 to 10 months, the rents are going up a lot, right? The rents have gone up like 17% in that area since November. And then we will rent it out again at a higher rent and just keep cash flowing. And then at the end of the 21 months, we're either going to sell it to someone else for higher price, right, and make some money and just pay out the seller on the agreed upon price in the beginning, and then we take the spread, or we're going to flip it into one of our corporations, and it will have gone up enough, right, that the new mortgage that I get will cover what I bought it for. So I actually won't have to come up with any more money to get this deal done in 21 months. So this is the thing, guys. Creative financing, whether it's agreement for sale or vendor takebacks, are very, very powerful. You're able to get into real estate. If you're just tuning in now, I was just saying, I'm literally at Mel and I's lake house. It's in North Bay, Ontario, Canada, where we live. It's 15 minutes from our house. We purchased it with 100% financing. We did a perfect burr on it. We went from pink carpets to shaggy. Yeah, I forgot the word shaggy. Shaggy pink carpets. Oh gosh, wood paneling. Was it wainscoting? I like wainscoting if done properly, but this was like paneling. To now a beautiful 7-figure piece of real estate on the water, which is just going to continue to go up, and Mel and I get to enjoy it. So that's what we're able to do, right? Creative financing. So let me keep taking some questions. So those were the pros that I talked to you about, agreement for sale. Now I'll talk about some of the cons, which aren't necessarily cons in my opinion, but some people have these concerns or questions. Okay. So let me take a couple of questions here. So where'd it go? Strillionaire, contract for sale, meaning like contracts for a car or house. I guess, well, it's a contract. Yeah, I guess it's not the exact same contract as you would with a vehicle or anything like that. but the agreement for sale is a contractual agreement that lets you control the asset without owning it. In Canada, they call it AFS, agreement for sale. In the US, they call it WRAP, W-R-A-P. And we do have some US deals. We will have that list coming to you guys soon. We're just working out a few different things, right? So we've got the Canadian list. So if you're looking for agreement for sales in Canada, right, the list is there, or DM us the word list. If you're looking for seller finance deals in Mexico, DM us the word Mexico, because you might be watching this after the fact and you don't have the links. So just DM us or send, whatever platform you're on. If you're on YouTube, I don't think you'd necessarily DM us, but yeah, if you put it in the chat below, then the team will reach out to you or give you the links. And the US ones will be coming out. Again, every country has their different hoops and regulations, so we're just kind of doing all the buttoning up. Excuse me. But yeah, we have that. So take a look at it. Just got something in my eye there. Cool. So I guess cons. I don't necessarily think it is a con or cons of the agreement for sale. But I can talk about myself and what I used to think before I understood it a bit more. So I used to think agreement for sale is my name's not on title, right? I don't have ownership of the actual asset, which is true. You don't. So let's say if I do a typical vendor take back deal, I'll either have, the seller will either hold like a first mortgage for, X amount of loan to value, or a second mortgage for X amount of loan to value. Or I've had it before where the seller holds 100% financing for me in the form of a first mortgage. When the sellers hold a mortgage for you, in my experience anyway, my corporation in Canada or my LLC in the States, right, actually own the asset. So the deed, the title actually transfers over. My entity actually owns it, and then they're just a mortgage or a security, a mortgage, a lien, whatever you want to call it, right? Different places call it different things. The seller just becomes one of those, just like the bank. Okay, so I like those because I own it now. If they decide a month from now that they don't want to do the deal or whatever it is, I own it. And it's like, well, no, as long as I keep paying the bills. And it's the same thing with agreement for sale. It's just you don't have that ownership from day one, which honestly, this used to hold me back on doing agreement for sale deals. Now I do them. I'm cool with it. I understand it better. I just didn't know what I didn't know. But now that I understand that, I'm okay with it. But some people might say having a contract on the property isn't enough, which to each his own. I used to be in the exact same boat. I'm different now, right? Every year, Mel and I get smarter and we gain more knowledge. We have more experience. We do more deals. For example, before I never used to do deals outside of North Bay. I never used to do deals outside of Ontario, then outside of Canada. Right now, Mel and I are investing in Canada, US, Costa Rica, Mexico, Dominican Republic. Okay, so it's doable all over the place. If you have someone in your life saying that it's not doable, or if you have, I hear it all the time, like real estate agents or mortgage brokers or lawyers, or doesn't matter, even your mom, your dad, your friend, your neighbor, oh, it doesn't work here. Yes, it does. Okay, it works all over Canada, works all over the US, right? If you're in Canada and your tax code is governed by the Canada Revenue Agency, seller financing works. If you're in the US and your taxes are governed by the IRS, seller financing works. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Lainey says, nice background. Thank you. Abdullah, I can't find local money lenders. That is a constant question and theme that Mel and I get. And honestly, guys, and Abdullah, this is something that we train, coach, mentor, show, teach, whatever word, basically help people do within our Action family. Okay, so we literally show people how Mel and I raise capital, how we find deals, how we negotiate them, the different contacts. We introduce you to the same lawyers, attorneys, accountants, CPAs, mortgage brokers, insurance brokers, and real estate agents. Okay, so, and again, if ever for real estate agents, someone had asked earlier, if you want to use the same real estate agent that I am using in North Bay or in Sudbury, in Ontario, just send us a word, DM us the word agent, and we'll introduce you, okay? Someone was asking that earlier. How'd you get this? They helped me negotiate this deal. And if you're part of the Action family, today I'm going to be discussing 3 vendor take-back deals near me that you might be interested in, okay, Action family? So I know some Action families are probably watching. I will be talking about that in today's live. So yeah, Abdullah, honestly, and how do I say this? how do I want to say this? I used to be asking the same questions as you. So that's why I can relate. Let's use that word. I can relate. I can, I feel, I feel what you're feeling because I've been in those same shoes. Because I remember I was like, if I just could raise some money, I could do so many deals. And I remember people telling me like, there's so much money out there. And I was like, oh yeah, I know, but how do I find it? But honestly, Abdullah, now that I know what I know, and now that we've purchased what we've purchased, right? Because Mel and I have now purchased over 264 units in 5 countries. Okay. So even when I say it, I still can't believe it sometimes. I'm like, that sounds like, anyway, it sounds great. Like, I'm just like, yeah, anyway. So yeah, what I'm getting at is there's so much money out there. There's so many deals, Abdullah. You just have to understand how to find it. And then you have to understand how to, what's the word I want to use here? Pitch, sell, showcase. Like, you have to know how to show a deal to someone. And literally, like, people show me deals all the time. My inbox, my DMs, like Mel and I now have over 780,000 followers on all our social media platforms. So I'm constantly getting, hey, look at my deal, look at my pitch deck, invest in my project, invest in X, Y. Like, I'm bombarded by it, which is a good thing to have. I'll never take that away. I look at them. But honestly, I see a lot of glam and I see a lot of look at this and look at me and X, Y, Z. All I care about is the numbers. Like, seriously, all I care about are the numbers, because that's the only thing that matters. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's different things like environmental, locations, yes, all of that. But in the beginning, all I care about is the numbers. I put it in my cash flow analysis matrix. Quadrant number 1, what is the deal doing? I'm stress testing it. I'm underwriting it. I'm making sure that this deal cash flows and makes sense from day one, right? Put it under the scrutiny that I put it under, just like the financial institutions do. So does it make sense? And then most importantly, in quadrant number 3, how am I paying back the private money? That's all. Does the deal make sense to buy? How am I paying back the private money? That's what I care about, right? And that's why Mel and I have been successful. And that's why we've always, knock on wood, we've always paid back every single lender, because we exit the deal before we enter. We absolutely make sure that we pay back, or we have a plan, multiple plans to pay back that money. Otherwise, we don't touch the deal. So yes, Abdullah, finding money is an effort. And that's what I was getting at. When I'm raising capital for a deal, right? And if anyone has capital here, Mel and I are always raising capital. Team, put the form. If someone has capital and they want to invest with Mel and I, fill out the form and I'll give you a call. Or if you want to work directly with Mel and I, whether it's one-on-one coaching or in the Action family or anything like that, fill out the form. Team, put the form here, and I'll call you directly. Like, and when I say that, guys, people go, yeah, Dave. Literally, I'm calling you. My area code is 705. You'll see a text from me. You'll see a call from me, because it matters who joins our Action family, who joins our different programs, who joins our one-on-one, who I'm borrowing money from. I have to have a conversation with those people, right, to make sure that everything's a fit. Oh, I'm jealous. Another boat's out there. That's going to be me soon. Okay. But yeah, don't be shy, guys. Fill it out. And when you see me, it's not a bot, because everyone will say, oh, Dave, yeah, okay, hey, it's Dave from Investment Dave. Yeah, okay, good one. It's another bot. It is not a system. We do have systems that do it. You're going to see a 705 area code. It's going to be me texting you and me calling you, because I want to see how I'm able to help you guys. Is that boat just doing zigzags? Taunting me. They know I want to be out there. Anyway, let's keep going with the questions. Jade Performance Coach. What do they call that in the UK? Honestly, I only know the 5 countries that I invest in, which is Canada, US, Costa Rica, Mexico, Dominican Republic. I don't invest in the UK. Let's put a yet there, because you never know. But yeah, DM us the word Typeform. Yeah, thank you, team. So DM us the word Typeform. We'll send you the appropriate form for what you're looking for to work with Mel and I. But yeah, Jade, honestly, I don't know UK, because I don't invest there. So I'm not saying it can't be done there. I don't want to speak out of term. I know what I know, and I know my lane, and I don't know the UK yet. Hey, Dave, talk about, the exit strategy. So what a beautiful lake, one of your properties. Yes, this is our lake house that Mel and I bought with 100% other people's money. It's just outside of North Bay, 15 minutes from our house. If it was too far, we wouldn't use it. Like, we woke up this morning at the house. Colton was playing hockey. Colton announced he has a YouTube channel, so he's going to be doing some YouTube videos today. I'm going to help him out. Mel and I did a workout, and then I zipped out here because I want to be on the lake, and I got to take the Sea-Doos out. Listen to how I talk. I have to take the Sea-Doos out because if I don't go ripping on them today, the batteries are going to get too low and I'll have to boost them. So the exit strategy, yes, that's what I was mentioning. Honestly, it's paying people back. Like that is the biggest, like, okay. You will see throughout your real estate investing career, you will see people make bad decisions and go belly up. Okay. Whether you've been around for a while and you've already seen it happen, I've seen it happen. Whether you're new to the real estate investing game and you're like, oh no, right? Or people, unfortunately, people will do it incorrectly. Okay. Now let's backstep. That doesn't make any sense. Let's take a step back. I don't know. You guys know what I'm saying. But in the beginning, when Mel and I were looking at doing the creative financing, right? Because we did it the same traditional way that everyone does it. I bought a single family home, met Mel, fell in love. We bought a house. That house became a rental for me. I fell into real estate. Mel already had a duplex and a triplex when I met her. So we already had 3 properties. We bought another one together, another triplex, and then another triplex. We were saving up our own money and all that stuff. Then the bank said no, just like everyone else, right? They said, hey, head office says you have 5 properties now in your personal name, no longer financing for you. Some people hit that wall even before, some people even after 1 or 2 properties, because the banks, what they end up doing is they look at your ratios, right? They'll look at your TDSR, your total debt service ratio, or they'll look at your TDI, total debt to income, meaning here's the money you got coming in, here are the bills you pay out, right? Where is that? It's usually like 40 or 42, or anyway, I'm not a mortgage broker, but once you hit that, so you know when you go to the bank and they say, hey, you can only qualify for X amount more, it's because they're putting that payment for X amount more and seeing where your ratios are at. So once we hit that, once head office said you guys are maxed out on your TDI and your TDSR, Mel and I started going down the creative financing route. And this is where I know I'm talking exit strategy on you, Elizabeth, and I'm going the long route here, but I'm just giving you some backstory. Mel was super paranoid. She's like, Dave, we have 3 kids. We can't mess this up. And I'm like, I know, I was a firefighter. I'm not going to jail for money, anything like all this stuff. We were very worried about other people's money. So we literally, the same mortgage broker that was telling us for years, right? Todsky, love that direction of creative financing. So thank you, Todsky. Love you, man. He pushed us in the direction, and we said, what are people doing wrong? And he introduced us to a few people who had portfolios and who had lost them. And the biggest thing that they were doing incorrectly, and it's nothing, I'm not taking a jab at them or anything like that. It's just they didn't have the exit strategy. They were banking on interest rates staying low, which no one can control. We've all seen that over the last couple of years. And they were also banking on appreciation continue to go up, right? The market continue to stay hot, which again, no one can control. So that's, Elizabeth, when we decided we have to have an exit strategy. We have to make sure that we implement that. And we have to know that if we're touching a dollar of anyone else's money, that we can either refinance for higher at the end or sell the asset and be able to pay everyone out. Another boat. Okay. Good questions. Do the sellers, okay, this is the AR BBQ. Barbecue. I'm going to be doing that later too. Oh, I should that's right, I got to take steaks out of the freezer. Okay. Do the sellers have to be free and clear of a mortgage, or do they register as a second mortgage? Oh, yes. Okay, so a seller financing deal. So I love the angle. Let's talk agreement for sale, and then let's talk a seller holding a mortgage for you. In an agreement for sale, they do not have to be free and clear to hold for you to do an AFS deal or a wrap mortgage in the US, because the whole point of and I know you're asking the other one, but I like giving everyone an idea of both. Most of the time in the agreement for sale, sorry, I was just checking. Colton's playing outside. I was just looking to make sure he's good. What was I going to say? In the agreement for sale, they usually do not have I shouldn't say that. They don't have to have it paid off, because typically the reason why they're doing an agreement for sale with you is for any other reason. Like, hey, let's just take my deal that I just did in Edmonton. The person, guy, girl, doesn't matter. The person was living there, and they got transferred to like Calgary or another province. And two things, they had just refinanced and redid a 2-year mortgage. Okay, that's why there's 21 months left in my term. They had done 24 months, right? 2 years. So they had just renegotiated with their financial institution. And they didn't want to break that mortgage. So they were like, you know what? I'll do agreement for sale. They sold it to us, right? Mel and I, our corporation, I own nothing personally other than this lake house. Hey, there's Mel. So you're pulling up lake house and our house. Yeah, even my cars, I don't even own them personally. And they had a mortgage, so they didn't want to break it. That's why they're doing the agreement for sale with us. Okay, so the win-win here. They are guaranteed a purchase price when we end up selling it eventually. They got a down payment right now, so they're happy. They're like the $23,000 I had to pay down. They're happy they got the down payment that they needed to make the deal work, and then they don't have to break their mortgage. So at the end of 21 months, I'll probably sell it before then. I think I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to roll it in my portfolio after one of my corporations. And then they'll sell it at the same time that their mortgage comes due, and they don't have a penalty, and they made some money, and they got paid a little bit over and above their mortgage every single month. So it's a win-win-win. They are winning because they are happy. Their mortgage is paid plus some every month, and they don't have to break a penalty. I win because I get a deal for very low down, 100% creative financing, and my tenants are going to pay all the bills, right? I think it's costing me 25 or whatever. Again, it's not a huge cash flow on this one, and I think I'm renting it out for like $26.75 or $2,700 plus all utilities. So I won't be paying the utilities. So I'll make like $100 to $200 a month for the next 20 months. Then I'm going to flip it into my portfolio at a lower interest rate and all that, and I'll make more money. Plus, I'll have equity in the asset, and my personal net worth goes up. So it's just a win-win-win. And when those students move out in 8 to 10 months from now, I'm going to increase the rent again. So my payment's going to stay here, but my rents are going to keep going up. So my spread gets even bigger and bigger. So in 8 months from now or 10 months from now, when they are done school and my rent goes up by like $200, $300, $400, $500, depending on what the market does, that's just how much more cash flow I'm making. So that's for the agreement for sale. For holding a mortgage, if they are holding a first mortgage for you, 99.9, I'm trying to think of it, 99.99% of the time they have to be free and clear. Because, yeah, for a first mortgage, yeah, all the ones I've done, they've been free and clear, or they have to pay the mortgage off before closing, because that's the whole thing. Like, there can only be one first place mortgage, and if there's a bank in play, the bank's like, well, I'm not discharging that mortgage until I'm made whole. So typically from first mortgages, yes. And all the experiences I've done. For second mortgages, no. Because second mortgages is typically as like a down payment, a smaller portion, like 20, 25% loan to value. And then what was I going to say? And when you close the deal, your new first mortgage will pay out that other first mortgage. Good questions. Mir, hello.
Hello.
I'll say hi quickly. What's up, Soch?
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to the lake house.
Yes, welcome.
I'm excited. I was telling everyone I'm going to have to go rip around on the Sea-Doos.
There we go.
The batteries need a charge.
Yep. It's a tough life, right?
Tough
Making
life.
sure they're all charged up. Again, make sure to ask them some good questions.
Okay, how much? Okay, Mir Natten, how much interest in your broker? How much is it to invest with you? Yeah, if you're interested in the broker that I was talking about, the North Bay or Sudbury one, just send us a DM. Send it the word agent, and I'll do an introduction. Lizzie, how much to invest with you? Depends what kind of deal we were doing. So it depends if I'm doing it depends it depends what type of money you have. So if it is registered, so in Canada it's registered, like RSPs, TFSAs, LIRAs, those are registered funds. If you're in the US, those are retirement funds like 401k, Roth IRA. So if you have some of those, it depends, because I might do a syndicated mortgage. Okay, so then it doesn't really depend on the amount you have, because I might have like 10 people on one mortgage. If it is cash, so like a promissory note, it'll depend. If it's going to be a mortgage, it depends. So honestly, Lizzie, DM us the word lend, L-E-N-D. DM us, anyone that wants to invest with Mel and I, DM us the word lend, L-E-N-D, and I'll send you the form. So whenever we do another round of capital raising to buy more assets, then we can have a chat about interest rates and term and XYZ, okay? How much to invest with you? Yes, I answered that one. Sean, Dave, to be clear, on an agreement for sale deal, the seller holds the mortgage. Yes, because they never break their own mortgage. Okay, Sean? I generate rent and pay the seller to take care of the mortgage. Do I pay the seller any spread here? Yes. So let's make it up. Sean, you own 123 Main Street. Okay, you own 123 Main Street, and Dave is going to buy it for you or from you from agreement for sale. Sean, you remain on title, you still own it, and you remain the mortgage, you remain on the mortgage. So nothing changes for you in regards to what you were already doing. Now, the money still comes out of your account to pay them, right? And the taxes is typically principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, PITI, and if it's a condo, then it's condo fees or HOA fees, whatever. What was I saying? And if you're interested in those deals, Sean's, again, the list is there, guys, for the Canadian deals and the Mexico deals. The US deals, hopefully soon enough, once we get that done. Sorry, I'm trading the team. So yeah, basically, and then I would take it over. So you and I would do a contract, and I'm oversimplifying here. Obviously, there's a little bit more dotting the I's, crossing the T's. We would do a contract. I would then have power of attorney over the asset. We would negotiate the selling price, the terms, XYZ, the interest. And let's just make it up. Let's say you're paying $2,000 a month for your mortgages and all the taxes and everything. And again, I'm just picking a number out of the air here. And you say, Dave, I'll hold all of this for you if you give me $2,200 a month plus $10,000 down or $20,000 down. So again, people think like, well, Dave, why would the seller ever do this? Well, like the guy that I just bought that deal from in Edmonton, he's moved. He doesn't want to sell right now because he's going to have a big penalty at the bank for breaking his mortgage. So he's like, okay, Dave, give me X amount of money down and then pay my mortgages, my tax, my insurance, my all of this, plus a little bit of spread every month. So again, guys, they are doing it because it benefits them. Same with seller financing, right? The capital gains in Canada have gone up from 50 to 67. So why would someone hold a mortgage? Because it benefits them, right? They get to spread that, not depreciation, they get to spread that, oh gosh, come on, Dave. I call it spreading the love, but that's not the appropriate term. They're taxable. My gosh, the amount that they will get taxed on, instead of getting all the money in the same year, they get to spread it up to 5 years. In Canada, in the States, it's different. You can spread it out longer. But yeah, Sean, so basically that's kind of how it would go down if I bought that deal from you. Agreement for sale. We would decide on the price, term, interest rate, a monthly amount to cover your bills, plus give you a spread, right? Or if it's no spread and a little bit more down like in the beginning, right? And maybe if instead of $20,000, it's $25,000 down, and then it's literally just covering your bills every month with no spread. Or if it's, hey, it's $20,000 down, but then every month I'll give you a little bit more than just to cover what you have to, and then you do have a spread. Like that's the beauty with creative financing. Like I just did a deal. Ooh, that's a big bug. I'm not a bug guy. Anyway, it's not a bug of me. So capital gains. Yes, Dominic, thank you. Yeah, so your capital gains, you could spread it up to 5 years if you hold the mortgage for up to 5 years. Now, where was I going with that? What was the question that I just saw? What was your question again? I forget now. The bug took away my focus. I think I was talking the agreement for sale deal and why I would do it and the spread. And then we talked about capital gains as well. But yeah, don't be shy. If you guys are interested in any of this, send us a DM. And again, we have a list for agreement for sale deals. If you want to work with me in any capacity, again, please fill out the form and I will be calling you. People never think that I'm actually going to call them. I do call them. Okay. It's very important to me that if I'm working with someone, it's not just, hey, fill out a form here. And then obviously there's an investment to work together, but then fill out the form here, pay the investment. I'm going to want to talk to people to make sure, right? Because there's some one-on-one with me coaching and mentoring. There's the Action Family, which is like a group coaching, mentoring as well. So there's different aspects that you can work with Mel and I, but I definitely want to have a conversation. So if you do fill out the forms and you do see a 705 area code texting you saying, hey, it's Dave. I literally say the same thing every time. Hey, your name, it's Dave from Investor Mel and Dave. Okay. And then I will contact you and reach out. Different questions. Free and clear. Okay, good. People are DMing the word yes. And which lake behind me? I am on Trout Lake. I live in North Bay, Ontario, Canada. Mel and I do invest. Yemi, OPM, perfect. Mel and I do invest in 5 different countries, right? So Canada, US, Costa Rica, Mexico, Dominican Republic. That's where I was going with that. Someone was asking about the terms for seller financing and creative financing. What I love about dealing directly with sellers or dealing directly with private lenders. So Mel and I just bought, well, I say just, it seems like probably like a month or 2 months ago, we just bought another place in Costa Rica. It is a 10 unit, okay, seller finance deal. We had to come up with $48,000 and they will hold a mortgage for 5 years, okay, out of 10 units. But what was the agreement there? $48,000 a year is what we have to pay. So on closing, we gave them $48,000. 24 of that is going to principal. 24 of that is going to interest. Yes. So every year he wants $48,000. So what is that? Let's do some math here. I've got my calculator. So $24,000 times 5 years. So $120K. So over the 5 years, we will have paid down the mortgage by $120,000. And I guess if you want to look at that, we'll have paid $120,000 in interest as well. We cash flow every single month, and this place is going up more and more and more in appreciation. Okay, so it's a pretty sweet deal. No, actually, the interest that we pay is actually going down, I believe, as well. I'd have to look at the terms again. But it's a very attractive seller financing deal. And I think it was it 5 or 6%? I think it was 5% that we calculated at the end. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just giving you an example of a deal, guys. But this is super, super awesome. Okay, so we make the payment twice a year. Some of it goes to principal and interest. Some of it goes to principal. Some of it goes to interest. At the end of the term, I think every single dollar that we've paid towards it goes down on the remaining balance. I have to look at the terms. This one was a different one. And again, this is what I love about creative financing is I'm in North Bay, Ontario, Canada, negotiating a seller finance deal in Costa Rica on a 10 unit. Okay, and now our team is there taking care of it. They're getting the rooms all ready. There's a little restaurant that we're building out because this one's going to be more short-term rental. So they're building out like a little cafe type of restaurant. The groundskeeper's there. He lives there. So basically a groundskeeper / like maintenance person, property manager lives there as like a superintendent type thing. So he's there renovating, doing it. We're clearing out the brush. But again, creative financing deal done from on my laptop that I'm talking to you on right now. So it's doable anywhere is what I'm getting at. Craig, how to get in front of sellers in this primarily advertising yourself on social media? You can do that, right? You don't have to. Like Mel and I didn't always have a big following on social media. Like now we have over 780,000 followers on all our platforms. That wasn't the case. I remember when Mel told me, Dave, let's create a website before. I was like, good one. Website, social media, how's that going to help us? So I was totally the opposite. Now I'm doing lives all the time on social. I'm actually a pretty introvert person. It's just you get used to it after a while. But you don't need to be on social media. If you want to, bonus. It's definitely a bonus, but it is not a must-have. Okay. What strategy would you recommend? Yeah, honestly, Craig, fill out the form. Maybe we can work together. I'll be able to help you and give you some tips because that's literally what we do inside of our Action Family is show people how to do this. Action Family, I have 3 seller finance deals for you that we're going to talk about today when we go live with the Action Family. There's 3 seller finance deals that I want to talk to you about today as well with some vendor takebacks. So cool. Awesome, guys. Well, again, thank you for joining me on the live. Appreciate all the time that you guys have spent with us. If you're watching this after the fact as well, there are a lot of links that you can get access to. So just DM us and we'll be able to help you out with different links that you need that we've talked about. Mirai, team, get Mirai. Mirai's asking for a form. Mirai, you're on Facebook, it looks like. Just DM us what you're interested in, and then we'll be able to see what form we need to send to you. All right, I thought I'd wrap up the live. I'm going to go live with the Action Family, and then Mel and I and Colton are going to live some lake life. Going to go ripping around later on. All right, and I'm going to help Colton shoot some YouTube videos for his new YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed yet, yes, my little guy, he's 9 years old. He's saying subscribe, he's in the background. It's okay. Team, put it in. I think it's at, and you have to make sure to write it here. Let me write it here. Give Colton a follow. KOLTOND11. Boom. That's his new YouTube channel. He's going to be doing different kid stuff. So if you have kids or nieces, nephews, grandsons, whatever it is, go check it out. He's going to have some hockey stuff. He's going to have some Lego stuff. He's building some trick shots. You know how they do tricks. Anyway, Colton's going to be doing all that fun stuff that 9-year-olds like to do. So he'll do that stuff. Contact me and Mel or